authentically. So I'm just going to introduce you and you will just take it away from there. I will let you know if there's any comments or questions on Instagram or Facebook. And I am recording this, so I can send you the recording when we're done. So thank you everyone for joining. Hi. Hello, Mr. Nitsa. Hello, I'm Shannon. Hi, iPhone. Welcome to this week's Transformation Thursday. And this evening, we are discussing healing financial blocks with Reiki. And just a cute little story how I met Miss Nina when I was at the Awaken Fair earlier this month. And when she shared a little bit of her story, I said, yes, I have the perfect audience for you to share this story because I fully believe that stories heal and that it's good for us to share our stories because you never know who you're helping. So I'm glad for you to be joining us this evening and sharing your story. So again, I'm Abena from Holistic Healing, and this is Transformation Thursday, which happens every Thursday 7:15, 7:30-ish. So thank you for joining. So if you would just like to introduce yourself and go right into the topic.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me here. And it was definitely a pleasure meeting you at the Awaken Fair. I know we clicked right away. I can't hear you. I believe you're muted, so I don't hear what you were trying to tell me.
Can you hear me? I'm not able to hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you. Are you muted? Okay.
I'm not. What about now?
Okay. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. 1 second. 1 second. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. 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 Let's just start again. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I was saying that thank you for having me, and that it definitely was a pleasure meeting you at the Awaken Fair. I believe we clicked right away, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. So as you introduced me, my name is NinaTheAlchemist, and I am a Reiki master practitioner and teacher. I have a background in diagnostic medical sonography and health, and a bachelor's in health services administration. I believe that both of these certifications, degrees, they have helped me with my intuition, my gifts. I basically combine my wisdom with healing, right? And this stuff. So basically here I'm going to speak about how Reiki has helped me heal my financial blocks. So I remember when I met you, I basically shared, like you said, shared a little bit about my story. I was a single mother and I had moved to New York with my 10-month-old. When she was about 2.5, she was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. And I felt like my whole world was in shambles. So I did what I had to do to support her, to be the best mother that I could be. But I was going to school full time. I was going to school full time, taking 5 to 6 classes at a time. I was also working as a security guard at Lenox Hill Hospital. And basically, I went through a lot in my life where I felt like there was no solution. I've always been a very positive person, but at the same time, I feel like I've always been very positive for other people. But being that so many things were happening to me at that moment. I felt like there was no like there wasn't going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like, it's your first child, and they're telling you that basically she had these issues, and I knew that I had to be well for myself to be able to support her. So basically I just went on, like, in life. Just, I was depressed at the time, but I kept pushing through so that I can be better for her. And as a single mother and in New York, everything here is expensive. So I was trying to do my best to provide for her, but it was like one thing after another. It was one thing after another. I had like all this credit card debt, and having to pay my rent, all of these things. I mean, backtracking a little bit, I lived in Miami. I was born in New York, partially raised in the Bronx and partially raised in Miami. And when I decided to move back here, she was 10 months old. So I sold my car, and I used the money that I got from my car and the money that I got from my income tax to get an apartment here. And basically, I was broke. I didn't have the financial means to live an abundant lifestyle. I remember having to apply for a credit card so I can get her boots, and just be there for her. And basically, again, I went through a lot. And fast forward a couple of years later, my mom introduced me to Reiki. So basically, she visited this Reiki master in Miami and told me, that I should go visit him. And it's crazy because even then, when I was on my way there, so many things were happening, money wise, I couldn't, so that I wouldn't do it, right? Like, the money that I received to be able to go and rent a car, when I got there, something that my bank account was locked. Like, it was all of these things, always all of these financial issues, right? And my mom said, basically, like, go to him, just go with an open mind and have faith, and it's going to work. So, I remember when I saw the Reiki master, he basically said, think of what it is that you want, what it is that you want to accomplish, what it is that you want to manifest. And it's like, I didn't know. I remember my mind was blank. I didn't know what I wanted for myself. And it's always because I've always been in such service to others that I didn't know what I wanted for me. What made me happy was to be able to help, and to be able to help others, to be in service to others. So when he said this, I really didn't know, like, nothing came to my mind. But basically, then he said, like, as after you do this, so it was like Reiki combined with bioenergetics, shifting a lot of the energy with crystals and affirmations. And I remember after that, my life literally started to change. A few months later, well, I had a spiritual awakening. And then a few months later, I received an offer from um, from a charter school where I worked at for 4 years, and I was making a very decent amount of money. And everything just started happening. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is real. Like, this shit works, right? Like, I just started, all these opportunities were just coming to me. I had gotten that offer, then I got another offer, and it was just like, could it, you kind of get into the state of doubt, because you're like, is it just a coincidence, or did this thing really work, right? but I went along with it. And like I said, I started to meet people that that offered opportunities. I started to meet like-minded people, and that was just the beginning. So then I went back the following year, and then he said, now things are going to start happening faster because, you know, you're already cleared, right? You cleared those energetic blocks. So for those of you who don't know, we have chakras all over. They're like energy centers in our hands, and our feet. We have seven major chakras in our body, and basically these are the energy wheels of our body. So if they're unbalanced, we feel unbalanced, we're unbalanced, or we have these blockages, right? So specifically the root chakra, which is the foundation, is the base of the rest of the chakras. If this is blocked, your finances are blocked, basically. So the root chakra is has to do with your security, with your finances, with stability, right? So when you're not feeling safe, when you're not feeling stable or secure, or you know, you're in fear of lack, that scarcity mindset that we're often programmed to have since we're like little, for the most part. And you know, our culture is very like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, or you know, only rich people can do that, or you know, only rich people can afford that, or things like that. So we have this distorted relationship with money from a very young age, and we feel like this is it. We have to, you know, whatever, go to school, graduate, and get a job, a 9 to 5, and that's it. And it's like living paycheck to paycheck with no room for growth of even being better, right? And it all starts there in your root chakra. So basically, Reiki, what Reiki does is, Reiki is a Japanese healing and stress reduction technique that reduces stress. It provides mental clarity, emotional healing. So you may be thinking like, okay, so how is that gonna make me money, right? But if you come to think about it, if you're in a state of stress, right, when you're stressed out and you're ungrounded, your root chakra is not balanced, right? It's like, almost like, think of your feet aren't on the ground, right? So if you're not grounded, you're bound to not make good financial decisions. The mental clarity, right? Sometimes you're just used to spending. Oh, I can't wait to payday Friday. I'm gonna get that paycheck and I'm gonna blow it, right? You spend money on things that you really don't need, and then you're stressed for the next 2 weeks because you don't have the money, right? You made those bad decisions because you're not grounded, because your root chakra has all these blockages from whatever. Maybe, you know, as a kid, you didn't have much growing up, or even let's say, even if you did, but then when you got older, I don't know, your parents lost a large amount of money. You had to move from a luxurious lifestyle to, you know, less than that. All of these things create imbalances in your root chakra. So again, with Reiki, as it helps you reduce that stress, right? And it can help you with a clearer mind, make better financial decisions. It can even lead you to managing your money better. Again, because if you're aligned, you're centered, you're clear, you know, those things are easier for you to, they're easier for you to manage. And as for me, like I said, I will go every year and receive this Reiki, and things just started getting better for me. But then I met a therapist who is also a Reiki master, which is my therapist now, and he's been such an amazing part of my journey. I started receiving therapy with him right before COVID. And again, I love that he's a holistic therapist and a Reiki master as well. And so I still receive, even though I give Reiki, it's important to receive, and I still receive. And again, I started meeting the right people, the people that will put me in the right situations. As I mentioned, I was a single mother, okay, with no money. I lived in, it was a decent apartment, but it was tough. And I remember even in the beginning when I first moved here, I had to go on food stamps. Here I am, like, in this mindset of like, no, that's not gonna be me. I grew up with a single mother. My mom was a single mother, and I was like, I'm gonna, she did what she could, and I always appreciate her. But I said, like, I'm gonna break this cycle. I'm gonna break this. So having to even go into the welfare office to ask for help literally messed me up, like, in all types of way. I was like, no, like, I went to college. How am I even here? How did I end up in this situation? And then someone basically told me, they said, you've worked since you were 16 years old, right? And I said, yeah. And she said to me, okay, so look, and you've paid taxes, right? And I said, yeah. So she said, look at this as if it's your money that you're getting back. She goes, you know how you are. You're a go-getter. That's just your money that you're getting back from taxes that you've paid. And it helped me look at it in a different way, but it still didn't, it didn't stop me from continuing to better myself. And again, so I went from that to now, just last year in 2022, on December 22nd, 2022, I closed on my first multifamily property. So I just didn't become a homeowner, but I'm also a landlady. So it is a big accomplishment for myself. I'm 36 years old. I'm a mother of two little girls. And I feel that, of course, God first before anything, but I feel that I would not have gotten to this space where I'm at today had it not been for Reiki. um for Reiki and the guidance and all of the things. I mean, of course, you have to put in the work. I'm not saying that it's just you're gonna do you'll receive Reiki and that's it and your life changes. Absolutely not. You have to you have to help yourself as well. But I use Holy Fire Reiki, which is it's a new Reiki energy that was introduced 3 years ago. And this energy is like a higher level of consciousness, and it works detoxifying the body, clearing trauma, clearing all the things that are not serving you, right? So again, using this energy to heal the root chakra, to heal you, to clear out those the lack, the scarcity mindset, in order to be able to allow you to attract the abundance, because abundance is our birthright. We've just been programmed differently. So yeah. Does anyone have any questions so far?
I love that you said abundance is a birthright because I've been saying that for years. And I used to have that as my one of my email signatures. And
Love it.
mhm, mhm. So we still have time. So, how um, how was it to be introduced to Reiki? Like, I think you'd had some familiarity with it. So, how did it, when you were first introduced to it, what was it like for you?
Um, I remember, I know I've always been very open-minded, and I mean, I trust my mom. So, um, if she said that she felt like an immediate shift initially, I went ahead, like I said, and trusted. For me, I feel it was almost like an instant spiritual awakening. I started to see things differently. I started to, um, yeah, everything just wasn't the same anymore. And then, that led to, when you have a spiritual awakening, a lot of people think, oh, it's all love and light, right? But a lot of things um, you shed a lot of layers of things that were no longer serving you. You lose friends. You sometimes don't even feel comfortable in the space and the job that you're in, and you're like, wait, if I love this job, right? And then suddenly you're like, oh my God, like, what am I doing here? Or um these people, like, it's just everything is as your vibration, your frequency raises, there's just certain things that are not matching, and you kind of just have to let go as the Reiki clears the energy that's no longer serving you. You let go of those things, and it's not easy. You let go sometimes of relationships, um it's like a complete 360, and the more you do it, the better you'll feel. But a lot of things in your life also shift.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So, what are some of the
And
things that?
then
Oh no, you were saying.
and then the way that I got introduced, like, to me doing Reiki was by my therapist. So my therapist, because I create the organic teas. My therapist one day said, you can do Reiki on your teas, right? And I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, that's cool. But I never thought that I'd be the one, like, doing Reiki on people. I know that I always wanted to help, and I want to help people feel better, but I just by giving them advice or being me, right? But not doing Reiki. And then, he kind of just put it out there. And then one day I was like, during a session, I was like, hey, so can you teach me how to do Reiki? And he was like, okay. Um, and then I took classes with him, and yeah, and then I started doing it on my teas. Like, when I'll be creating the blends, I'll start um infusing them with Reiki energy. Then I was like practicing on my daughter and on my mom and on my siblings and things like that. And then I just became more intrigued and more intrigued, and then I wanted to learn more, and then I started going to conferences, and then I got, another certification, the Holy Fire Reiki that was introduced by William Lee Rand, um, and things like that. Like, and I'm just like, wow, this stuff is truly amazing. And it works, and I love it.
So, what are some, how do I say it? Okay, I think you mentioned for like our training around money, like growing up. Could you expound on that? Like our beliefs or thoughts that we have about money?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Um, so I know that often, like I had mentioned, there's a lot of, oh, I'm broke. Like words are so powerful, and a lot of people take it for granted. Like, and the I'm broke or I'm poor or money don't grow on trees or oh ain't nobody got money for that and this and that, and like you're literally, it's like you're cursing yourself that you are limited, or I can't afford that. It's something that is just, it comes so natural to us, raised in, like, for instance, I was raised in, like I said, partially in the Bronx, and a lot of, people of color, um there is just so, like it's almost as if is we don't feel like we deserve money, or we deserve um to be abundant, and those limiting beliefs that are, it's like you tell a 5-year-old, um let's say their stomach hurts because I don't know, they ate a bag of chips, but you tell them, no, your stomach hurts because you didn't want to wake up this morning from your bed. They're going to believe what you told them. They're going to believe that it was because they didn't want to wake up. And it's the same thing around money. Like you hear even as a kid, maybe they're not telling you directly, but even you being around that, your parents saying like, we don't have that, or we can't afford this, or we can only afford one, or we can't get your sibling the other, or we have to buy one first and then the other with the next paycheck. You're already in your mind believing that money is hard to get, that money does not come easily, that you're not worthy of having that. Like, well, this is my life and this is how it is, and you grow up with that mindset. um and I feel that it's such a so important um to build a good relationship with money. Like I never say, I mean, before I did, but as I've learned, I don't say I'm broke. I say the money is on its way. It may not be in the bank account just yet, but it's on its way. It's on its way to me, and just reframing that, like they say, sometimes you have to be delusional um until it happens. And um and yeah, just reframing your mindset, and it's is very is crucial. I say you have to.
It's so funny that you say that because I remember in one of Iyanla Van Zant's books years ago where she says she was experiencing a real financial crisis, and she said, her monkey mind is saying, "Oh, you're broke and all this," and she's like, "No, I'm not broke. I am temporarily out of cash." And that just struck me, and I stopped saying that myself to the point where one time I was on the phone with someone, they were saying, "I need to find a show because I'm broke, I'm broke." And it's like I had to kind of put the phone away from me because it's like I can't have you saying that. I
Mm-hmm.
can't have you saying that because that doesn't exist for me. That
Yeah,
doesn't exist. So wow, that's so powerful. People say I'm broke because I always say there's always everyone can, I'm sure, relate to a situation where they didn't have any money,
yeah,
um and then money came from somewhere, like some unexpected
yeah.
source.
Mm-hmm.
A check came, or someone said, "Oh, I owe you this," or just anything. I literally had someone outside of a botanica give me $200.
Wow.
So and money is everywhere. It's currency, it's
It's
current, it's
energy. It's
energy.
energy.
Yes,
So
yes.
your mindset, and sometimes what a lot of people don't realize is, um, and that's why I say with Reiki, it helps you shift your mindset. It helps you because you're thinking more clear. It elevates you spiritually, And you're able to, like, you suddenly, again, you start seeing the shift, you start feeling the shift, where then you begin to even look at it different. Like, wait a minute, if that person did it, why can't I? Like I said, I'm, partially raised in the Bronx, and I said, I want to quit my job, and I want to focus on this full time, and I want to buy a multifamily property so that I can rent one unit and live in the other. And I said that, and I believed that that's what was going to happen. And it happened. And it happened. And it's like, don't even ask me how. These things is like, when you're putting the energy out there, but your energy has to be clear, and it has to be, because just think of, if there's a pipe, right? If there's a pipe and it's filled with mud and debris and all of these things, the water's not going to be able to go through. So the same thing happens with your chakras. When your chakras are blocked and you're filled with stuff that you've picked up your whole life, yeah, you can think, yeah, the money's coming, but if you're not clean, if you're not clear, it's gonna be harder for it to come your way. And yeah, like I said, if you asked me a couple years ago, I did put this into existence, saying, I am abundant, but before I started with Reiki, I never thought that I could, be where I'm at today, and I want to share this because I want people to know that they can do it too, no matter the circumstance. There's no limits to what you can attract. There's no limits to where you can attract. Like I said, I went from single mother, no money, to, now my house is worth almost $1 million. And it's like the help comes, the money comes, it comes in ways that you're like, whoa, oh my God, this is a lot right now, like, it's almost like you can't believe it, but it's all the work that I've put in throughout the years to be able to get here. And I just want people to know that there's no limits. Don't put a limit on yourself. Don't tell yourself that you can't. Or, I grew up, again, my mom was a single mother. My father was in jail most of my life. I had to work in an honest way, like work 2 jobs to get my car, worked at Party City, worked at, like when I was younger, like I said, when I moved here, sold my car, use my income tax money, instead of spending it. I had this goal, like, this is what I'm going to do, because I know that at the time when I was in Miami, I said, there's nothing here for me. And it was it was hard, but it was the best decision that I made. So, yeah.
That is so inspiring. And let's see, I missed some comments here. Yes, such an inspiration. And how has it been with your journey and the circle that you had around you?
Um, so I've had to let go of a lot of people. And it is painful, and it gets lonely sometimes, because now you're in a space where you talk about certain things and people either think you're crazy, or or they think like, oh, now you think you're better than me because like, I'm trying to help you, and I'm the guinea pig here. I'm here doing all the things, and then I come back and share the information. I'm one of those people that I love to share. I love to share the information. I love to share, like, look, this worked for me, and I'm sure that it will work for you. Like, do it. And what can I do to help you? But when people, again, they have those blockages, they have those blockages like within them, it's hard for them to even see outside of that box. So you kind of just have to let go, and it's sad, and it hurts. It hurts because these could be people that, you know, you've known your whole life, you went to school with, or people who, even your own family, you know, and you see them not crumble, but like, you're like, damn, you could literally be here, and not just in a financial way, but the peace, the inner knowing of who I am, and it's just so satisfying. And so I'm in such a state of bliss right now, and that is unmatched. And I say, like, listen, like, you have me. I am like an amazing resource, and like, I'm here and I'm sharing, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. Oh yeah, whatever. Like, so when you kind of just have to, sometimes you just got to let people, everybody's on their own journey, and then you walk away, and then you manifest better, not better friends, but people who are on your same level, on your same vibration. Is the vibration of people that you can talk about these things with, and they understand. And yeah.
So I just wanted to share some of the comments here on Facebook, and it's a couple of comments here from a fellow Reiki practitioner. But people are really enjoying what you're saying. We have a comment. I like to set up vision boards with crystal grids and send it Reiki energy. And yes, losing relationships can be difficult. And oh, I have another comment here. People call you crazy because they don't understand, and unfortunately, people do say that you think you're better than them because they think you're better than them as you're like leveling up and making improvements in your life.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
So I want to ask you, so what's the blueprint for for what you've done? Because it's super inspiring, and hearing your story just lets it be known that it is possible. So what is the blueprint? Is it like the affirmations and the belief in manifesting? So how do you do it?
um there's like levels, right? Again, I started with, I want to say, I've always been a very positive person. I'm that person everybody calls to uplift them, to think I always have a solution. I'm very solutions oriented. But when it came to myself, I had a lot of self-doubt. Um, Again, with the limiting beliefs of like, oh, but like, why me? Like, how could I deserve that too? You know, like, I was always very happy for everybody else. Like, oh my God, you accomplished this. That's amazing. But then, like, if it was me, I was like, I don't know if I could do that. Um, and then again, with Reiki, it was Reiki that changed it all, because once I did that, everything like shifted, and everything shifted. And then from there, it was like, okay, then I started with the affirmations. I am so big on affirmations. Like, affirmations are my life. Um, and yeah, so that, to me, I feel like that it's like a combination. Also eating the right food. I haven't ate pork in like 10 years. I don't eat red meat. um I occasionally eat chicken, but I have stopped eating chicken. Like, when I started receiving Reiki, I just couldn't stand meat at all. And again, there's new energy that's integrating into your body. So there's certain things that your body's not is going to reject. Um, so so yeah, eating the right foods to again, and it doesn't have to be overnight. These things, it takes time. I started this, I have always been very intuitive. But I started all of this I want to say about 8 years ago. And it, it takes time, but just have faith and get Reiki.
So with the affirmations, you're saying it what it is that you want, or as if you already have it.
Yes, absolutely. As if you already have it. Like, um, when I'm manifesting, I will say things, for instance, like, I have this book, it's called Project 369. And there you can write, it's a manifesting book. I can share the link on the chat. And it's not my book, but like I purchased it, and basically you write the affirmations 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night. But you have to write it as if it's already happened. So for instance, when I wanted the house, I said, and you have to be very specific, right? So I said, I am the owner of the perfect multifamily home. And I wrote it all the time. And to be honest, there were times I wasn't even consistent. I'll write it like in February, and then I didn't write it again until like June. Um, and and just that, I am the owner of the perfect multifamily home. And and the last time I wrote it, I said by the end of 2022. And I said I closed on the house on 12/22/22. So just believing it, that you already, if you're feeling sick, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am abundant, money is flowing to me, I am a money magnet. But again, consciously you could say these things. But if unconsciously, subconsciously, you have these blocks, it's like, um, you know, it's kind of like, again, I'm gonna use the example with the plumbing. If you can only do but so much, put a little Drano, it's gonna clear a little bit, whatever. But if that stuff is still there, you have to get to the root cause. You have to get to the root cause. Once that root cause is completely, disintegrated, it's cleared, it's transmuted, then you can go ahead and like your affirmations will work like this. My girls, they're 6 years old. One of them is 6, the other one is 10. And they affirm everything. It was so funny because this is my first live ever. I've always had fear of public speaking, and I have this affirmation. I live we live in New York, and in New York, there's parking, now where I live, I have my own driveway, but most of the time, I mean, my kids go to school in the Bronx. You travel everywhere, there's no parking. So I said, wait a minute, I find parking easily. What? I find parking easily. I visualize a car leaving, and then I'm able to park. And this happens all the time. So when I was gonna get on the live, I told my daughters, I said, oh my God, I'm nervous. And the 6-year-old says, Mommy, the same way you find parking easily, she was like, you do this easily. You speak easily. You got this. And I was like, you're right. So again, just speaking it into like it's already happened.
I love it because I would have never known this is your first time speaking because you're doing it so well.
Aw, thanks.
Um, okay, so what else in addition to the affirmations? As I heard a conversation yesterday where someone was kind of saying like why people don't even believe that they can have why they can have certain things in their life. So would you like to like expound on that, like how people can kind of shift?
How they can find the shift to believe that they are worthy.
Yes.
Um, meditation. I know a lot of people, it's like, oh, I can't sit still, or I tried it and I start to overthink, but it doesn't have to be hard. Again, you can start with 5 minutes, then you move on to 10 minutes, and you don't have to sit in the lotus position. You can literally sit on a chair and just close your eyes and just breathe. And with the constant overstimulation that we have these days, there's no room for nothing to come in. But when you sit in a quiet space and you just breathe, you would be surprised the things that come to you, that your spirit guides are trying to show you this is what you need to heal. Or maybe a memory comes up from when you were a kid, or something that happened in school with another classmate, or a fight you got into with your ex or whatever. And that alone, that piece of trauma, because sometimes people think trauma is like the most horrific things. Trauma can literally be a heartbreak, or your mom told you you did bad in school this semester, so you're not going to get this toy or whatever. That was oh my God, you didn't get to process that was painful, and you're holding that in. Now you don't feel worthy of receiving things unless it has to be like conditional. Oh, I can't get this unless I do that. Now this is rooted into your mind, in your energetic system. So when you meditate, those things come to you, and sometimes it's just setting the intention, closing your eyes again, 5 minutes, and just say, at this moment, I ask to be shown whatever is holding me back from financial abundance, and you can think, oh, it's because I know my patterns. I know I'm an overspender, or, blah, 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 but it can be something else. And that alone, you identify that and send healing to it, or receive Reiki for it. You see the shift, and then you start believing that you are worthy, that you are worthy of whatever it is that you desire, because we are.
Thank you for that. And what is some of the other work that you do that you shared when we met? What's some of the other work that you do for ladies?
For what?
Oh, for women. What's some of the other
Oh,
work that you do?
yeah, so I do mindset coaching, quantum healing, quantum holographic healing, activation method. So for instance, with the quantum healing, what we do, it's like, basically it's like 20 sessions of normal therapy in one. So what happens is that I use a book with a pendulum, and the pendulum, basically we go into like a quick meditation, and then the pendulum will guide us on the book of where exactly is the root cause of a specific issue. So you can say, let's say, why is it so hard for me to get a job? Like, I feel like I have all the credentials, I have I have a great resume, I've even paid for my resume, blah blah blah. Why is it? And this guides us, and it could have been something that happened, and I don't know if everyone here believes in past lives, but it could have been something that happened in your past life. It could have been, you know, something from your past life, something again when you were a child, that, you know, and it comes up, and then we say like a prayer, and we clear it. And then I provide either affirmations or like tapping, EFT tapping, to affirm those affirmations. And then with the activation method, basically that is knowing already the root cause of the issue and going back to that moment, and healing that, like reframing the reframing the issue, maybe even thinking, visualizing there were angels there taking care of you, right? And or something like that, like but it's very profound, and during that moment we do like cord cutting, to release whatever energy is still attaching you to that person. Even it could have been somebody that hurt you in the most negative way. And at that moment, we forgive them, release them, and you send them with love. It is very profound and intense, but it's truly life-changing, I feel, because it's, yeah. But again, I always tell everybody, like, not start with Reiki, but let that like get a little, if you haven't done any energy work or anything before, I feel that's the best way to kind of just get your foot in and then test the other things, because, you know, and if you're ready, you have to be, you have to be ready to let go, be ready to heal. Like I became so not obsessed, but I wanted to be better. I wanted to feel better. I said, no, this can't be life. Like I cannot be depressed. I cannot be stressed out and broke. You know, I said, no, like this ain't it. Like there has to be something better. There has to be something better. And then I just became, you know, again, wanting to learn, wanting to help myself. I became like obsessed with helping me, with my self-improvement. So you have to be, again, committed to wanting to help yourself, I feel. And that's what, you know, that's what helps a lot.
So, someone on Facebook, the 369 technique, someone is saying that yes, they have heard of it, and someone else said, "Oh, I have to get that book. I have heard of it." Um, I also have a comment here. Nicole says she likes to meditate using mantra chants and mala beads. So it's great to see that. Yes, people are um, definitely meditating.
Love it.
Um, okay, yeah. So are you writing a book or a journal with these steps so that people can follow them?
Not as of yet, but I mean, I'm open to, yeah, you know, I'm open to it for sure. Like, yeah.
And I know when we spoke, you talked about your fertility work. Did you want to touch on that as well?
Yeah.
And yes, I agree with this comment here. You have a story to tell. Definitely write your book.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, so with the fertility journey, let's go back to when I was 5 years old. When I was five, I wanted to be an OBGYN. I've always been very self-aware and very intuitive. I would see spirits, I would hear things, I would you know, feel things. So it's almost like I knew, right? So I was five and I told my mom, I wanted to be an OBGYN. when I grow up, I'm going to deliver babies. That's what I want to do. And she said, no, you can't do that. You're too sensitive. I was, an empath, very sensitive to energy. So she said, you can't do that. If you see blood, you're going to go crazy. And and being a doctor, it takes way too long. And so, yeah, you can't do that. So then I said, okay, I guess, your parents are always right. So then when I was 10, 11 and in middle school, I said, oh my God, I came home from school one day. I said, Mom, I know what I'm gonna be when I grow up. And she said, what? I said, I'm gonna be a psychologist because all my friends love to come to me for advice, and I love to give them advice, and I always help them feel better about themselves. And she said, no, 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 no. You're gonna go crazy listening to people's problems. So I was discouraged, and then I'm like, shit, so what am I gonna do now? So whatever, I got older, teenage years, 17. You're in college. I mean, you're in high school. So now, the counselors are asking you what school you want to go, what college you want to go to, what do you want to major in, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I'm going to be a teacher because I love to share the things that I learn. I like to help people, like I know things and I want to help. So I come back and I tell my mom, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I was almost afraid of telling her because of the experience in the past. And she says to me, yeah, you can't be a teacher because you don't have patience for kids. So that's not going to work. So I was like, okay. So imagine here I am already about to be 18, about to be an adult, right? And my mom discouraged me my entire life. So I was like, well, what am I going to do now? So I just, I had a job. Like I said, I had worked in Party City. I worked at a traffic school. Things like that. While in high school, I used to promote for like all ages clubs and things like that. But I didn't feel like fulfilled because I feel like I didn't have the support. And again, my dad wasn't around. He was in jail. So my mom, so I said, Mom, like now I'm 18. I said, I'm going to take a year off and I'm just going to work so I can get my car. And I said, I said, but I don't know what I want to do. So she was like, you have to do something short because school's going to take too long. But mind you, here's my mom that didn't, dropped out. She dropped out of college. Again, it was like her own projections. I don't blame anything on her. It was her own. She did exactly what she was supposed to do to get me to where I'm at today. So then I go ahead and I get she says, you have to do something short. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the ultrasound program. I'm gonna get my associates in science in diagnostic medical sonography so that I can specialize in OBGYN because that's what I always wanted to do. I have that passion to help women, and I wanted to bring in babies when I was little. So I did that, but then, life got in the way. Once you're older, like, then you have a kid and like life happens. So then again, ironically, she was the same one who introduced me to Reiki. So it's almost as if one thing I want you guys to take from this is things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And she basically, it's almost as if she had to tell me no the whole way so that I wouldn't do it that way. Maybe I would have been an OBGYN and had to follow hospital protocols, and I would have not felt I was still doing what I came here to do. So I want to focus my Reiki on women who have infertility issues. That's the goal. Like that's what I really want to focus on. I'm actually doing a study now I'm looking for 10 women who want to get pregnant. I'm not guaranteeing any results or anything like that. But just women who have had failed pregnancies and, you know, are healthy and have an open mind, open mindset to holistic healing. Again, this is at no cost, and you'll be basically receiving Reiki from me and mindset coaching, because everything starts here, for 12 weeks, and basically you serve as a testimony. And yeah, so that's how that came about. So always trust your intuition when you feel something, and that's what it is. And you know, instead of going into, I could have been like in that victim mentality of, oh, I didn't get to do this because my mom did that. But I found the way of how it worked for me. And that's why I call myself Nina the Alchemist, because I alchemize the shit out of everything. Everything that life throws at me, I turn it into something positive.
I love the realness. Thank you so very much for that. The authenticity. Thank you for sharing that. Where are you located and what's your website so people can contact you? Because I have a feeling that people definitely be wanting to reach out to you.
Yes, yes, definitely. So my website is NinaTheAlchemist.com. And I do sessions in person and remotely. And I am located in the Chester Heights area in Mount Vernon. So North Mount Vernon, almost New Rochelle, Bronxville area.
Okay, and you have an office there where you do Reiki?
Yeah, I have a space in my home where I do it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Which is
Um,
where I'm in now. So
okay. Okay, let me just check here because it's checking okay. Yes, it said you do have a story. Um, okay, and I always say there's no such thing as coincidence.
Mhm.
Because when I saw you at the Awaken Fair, I just wish that we definitely had more time to speak then, but I'm so grateful for, the time that we did have. Um, yes, okay. I know there's another comment, but it's not letting me scroll up to see it.
Mhm.
What's the name of the book again? Who's the
Yes,
author? Do you see when
the
it looks?
project, me, um, 369. I'm trying to put it on the chat. Um, I'm trying to put it on the chat so that if you do it, you can use my code and get a discount, because I started telling everybody about it, and I was like, wait a minute.
So it's like a journal or just like a
Yeah,
regular book?
actually, I'm gonna one second. I have they have
Oh,
they have different like versions of, so like look, they even have a planner. You see,
mm,
so they have a planner, and it basically tells you how to manifest and things like that. Then there's another one. It's they have like an updated version. It's Project 369, the key to wealth, abundance, and prosperity.
okay.
And I even said, like, why do I deserve a wealthy life? And things like that. Affirmations. I generate wealth for myself and my family. Um, and things like that.
Okay. And I was just reminded something you said earlier, cord cutting. Can you talk a little bit about cord cutting?
Yes. So cord cutting. Okay. So whenever we whenever we have generated cords with everyone we've ever came in contact with. If you've had a relationship, you have cords with your parents, your children, your cousins, everyone in your life. And what happens is sometimes, think of a time that, let's say you got into an argument with a parent, or, even when you yell at your kid for not doing their homework, or because they, lied about this or that. In that cord, there are emotions, right? It's like an invisible cord. There's emotions, there's, things. So, um, most, I want to say the toughest chords are the ones that you build with in relationships, right? Because those are usually the most painful. You had a lot of love, but then the fight started or whatever. There was cheating, or there was this, or betrayal, or lying, or whatever. You let them go, you broke up, or sometimes you think about them, or Mercury retrograde comes around and they text you, or you're drinking, whatever. That cord is like, it's still like you're still attached to that person somehow. So what happens when you do cord cutting meditations, which I say cord cutting, but I honestly recommend cord burning, because they say if you cut it, it can like grow back. But basically, like, you sit in a meditation and you say a prayer, you call in your guides, you call in your angels, which is very important when you're in that state, to always protect your energy. And you visualize that person and you say whatever it is that you want to say to that person. And you forgive them and you release it. You let it go. You literally go like this with your hands, or you can visualize a fire coming out of your hands and like burning that cord. And then once you visualize it, nothing is happening. You're not doing any harm to this person. Never. I don't at all. I don't encourage it. I don't do that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is, you're burning it, as in like, you're letting go, you're letting it go, you're releasing it, and so that way you're not attached to their vibration, to their energy anymore. Because we're all one and we're all connected. So sometimes, we pick things up that doesn't even belong to us. Sometimes you can be in the greatest mood, and then you spoke to somebody, or you even thought about that person, and now you're feeling off. And it's like, it's energy. The energy, there's no time and space for it. Like, that's why these sessions and things can help can help even remotely. You get what I mean? Like, I always say, a person doesn't have to piss you off to be right next to you. You get on the phone with them and they say a few words and things get heated, you're upset now. Or you can call somebody that you know is going to brighten your day, and they make you laugh, and you get off the phone and you're like, oh my God, that was such a great call. I needed that. That person didn't have to be next to you, right? So it's the same thing when you do, these cord cutting meditations, or you're visualizing them, and you're just releasing, you're letting them go with love. You always say, I release you, I love you, I release you, I forgive you, and I set you free. And that's it.
Mm. Sorry about that. I like that you don't advocate harming, but just peacefully releasing. Thank you, because I was thinking about cord cutting, and it's good to know that you do that as well. Um, okay, so I'm just seeing what other comments here. People are very impressed by you and the work that the work that you do. is agreeing, yes, we absolutely have to protect and clear our energy fields. What are your thoughts on energy hygiene? Do you have any tips for energy hygiene?
Um, God, and inviting a white light all the time. I wake up every morning and it's literally the first thing I do. I invite that white light and I ask always God to protect, to protect. I feel that a lot of times people feel that when you're doing energy work or you're into things that are new to them, you don't believe in God. Oh, that's not godly, or that's not in the Bible, and things like that. For instance, Reiki, it has nothing to do with, it's a life force energy. And honestly, practicing it or receiving it, because you're more connected, because you're more aligned, it actually even helps you with your connection to source, to God. And for me, that's why, like, my spiritual practice is hygiene, is that, like, yourself, you are your own energy. Yes, a lot of people use crystals. I use crystals and sound healing and all the things, and incense, but your vibration is the is the best thing that you can have for yourself. So you stating like, I am protected. And again, it takes, if you time it, sometimes people are like, oh, I'm rushing and I don't have the time in the morning to sit, and you don't have to do all of that. Put on a timer, 2 minutes. I bet it takes you 2 minutes. And all you have to say is, thank you, God. Thank you for another day. And I am protected. I am divinely protected. And I do this. I do this. I'm visualizing a gold light. I'm wrapped around in a gold light all the time. Yeah, I had a session with a lady, and she said, I had, oh my God, I have such bad energy. Please protect yourself. Please protect yourself. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. And I said, thank you so much for caring about me. But I said, I'm divinely protected and no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And just you affirming that and knowing that you're protected. And yeah.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you for your sharing. Just for the people who were joining, who joined later, can you just reintroduce yourself and say what it is that you do?
Yes. So my name is NinaTheAlchemist, and I'm sure this one was, yeah, I didn't miss anything because the first one was a mess, because this is my first live and that was all over the place. So my name is NinaTheAlchemist, and I'm 36 years old. I live here in New York, partially raised in the Bronx and partially raised in Miami. I am a Reiki master practitioner and teacher, mindset mentor, and I have a background in diagnostic medical sonography, which is ultrasound, because I'm fascinated with the human body. And um, and I also have a background in health services administration. I have a bachelor's in health services administration. Um, but honestly, I was always more excited to, when I received my Reiki my certificate, I had never been more excited and looking forward to a piece of paper than that one. But and yeah, so I've always been very intuitive, and I use my healing gifts to help others. And yeah, to help others. I feel that I don't just want to heal, like I want to help you heal yourself. I want to teach you to heal yourself. I feel that there is no better healer than one who teaches you how to heal yourself, because I don't want to have all the secrets. Like, that's not, um I think that we're all connected, and God, you know, made us who we are, right? And we all have some divine wisdom, and we all need each other. And um and yeah, so I like to share. I like to share what I do and how I did it. And there's no you know, like I know other Reiki masters, and I'm like, oh, I do this, this, and that. Um like there's no secret, or like, you know, also they don't copy me or things like that. Like I feel that it's important to all help each other, because as we heal ourselves, we heal collectively. And yeah, did I do good?
No, you did wonderful. You did absolutely wonderful. Thank you, thank you. This is really wonderful, and I love that you are such an example of what you are about and what you've been able to create. I have to think of the word manifest, and I wonder if there's a word that's even bigger than manifesting. But I love what you have created in your life, that you've set your intention out and you've created what you had in your mind and you've made it a reality. So thank you for being for that example. And yes, we will be looking for the book.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. So, thank you so much for being here. As I said, there's no coincidence. I really appreciate you coming here and sharing your story because um, you never know who was listening and who really needed to hear what you were saying. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Um, just
And
wanted to give oh wait, is there a comment here that I think there's a comment here that I missed. Uh, if you can talk about Reiki as non-denomination, improving relationship with God. Many people of faith don't allow their self to experience Reiki because they fear that Reiki is satanic or religious. And Jesus is the greatest Reiki master. And yes, you are doing amazing.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, but that is a nice point. Improving your relationship. Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. I like that. Okay. Okay, so thank you for joining for this week's Transformation Thursday. Oh, let me just say my ad, my little commercial. Saturday, January 20th in Teaneck, New Jersey is the celebration of Rock Collage's newest location. If you're familiar with Rock Collage, that's the women-owned crystal shop in Teaneck, New Jersey. It's 15 minutes from the George Washington Bridge. So if you're in the Bronx, it's closer than them going to Brooklyn. So she's moved across the street to a larger location. It's 2 levels now. She has just completed her salt room. So her salt room is available. She's also offering color healing at her new location. And she has a space for yoga and other healing modalities. And yes, Yoni steaming and Lingham steaming are still available at her shop. So on January 20th is the numerology and energy forecast for 2024 event at Rock Collage. You can see that on my Instagram and on my Facebook. And our early bird tickets, that special will end tomorrow at 11:59. So you can register for the event at the early admission price. But we're so excited because we're going to have Lloyd Strayhorn, numerologist Lloyd Strayhorn will be at this event. And we will also have a discussion on the Akashic Records and also iridology. And you'll be able to get a mini iridology session. So that's my commercial for Saturday, January 20th in New Jersey. Nina, thank you so very much for being here. For everyone watching, you can see this on my YouTube, maybe tomorrow, Bronx Holistic Healing, or the replay will still be available. And thank you, everyone who's tuned in this Thursday, week 159. Like, still, I'm always amazed that I had over 100 people who were willing to come and talk on a Thursday. And thank you very much. And if no one has told you, if you haven't heard this, remember that you are a spark of the divine. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Nina. Thank you. You did great for your first time.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Okay.